at another location. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Lake UCC. Again, we got Miss Bonnie online, and we are being recorded. Before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and go around the room, and that's gonna be old business. We did not meet in January. We did meet last year was the last time. So if you have any old business from the last time we got together you'd like to discuss, or any new business, which will include projects going on, issues with locates, right? Or near misses, we can discuss near misses as well. You would introduce yourself, the company you represent, and again, any old business or projects you have going on. Start here.
Can I interrupt? Can somebody go we got somebody at the front door for the meeting. Sorry.
Jeremy's on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Osvaldo Lopez with Mose. Don't have old business, but we got a few projects. One starting in Lewisburg with main extension. A few services.
How big is the main extension, if you don't mind me asking?
What was it, like
320
something like that?
30 beats.
Okay.
And that's about it. We're gonna do retirements in the area. That's about it. Not a lot of big projects.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I am the engineering check for the city of Oxford, and sorry, my voice sounds weird. I just got over COVID last week. We don't have too much new going on, still doing water and sewer projects. The Havens apartment off of Industry Drive just started construction, and the Certainty plant expansion will be coming up. So,
We heard you last, Robert. If you want to, we can jump over to Jeremy.
I can say something real quick.
Okay.
My name's Robert Memory. I'm with Colliers Engineering and Design. I was 30 years with NCDOT, spent my last 5 years in the consultant world now, but 11 years at NCDOT as a state utility agent. So I know a little bit about utilities, just to get dangerous. But before we get done, I just want to say something very briefly about Project Atlas. That's why I came. I'm trying to make my tour around these meetings.
Okay.
Let's see.
You guys want to go around the table and jump back and forth, whichever you want to do.
I'm Jeffrey with Dominion Energy.
No issues.
No issue.
Okay.
Philip Collier with Dominion Energy, and most of the project that I got, he talked about, Lewisburg services all of Franklin County, and some retires and a few services around, Henderson.
I'm Lee Owen, City of Henderson. I'm glad to be back. I haven't been in quite a while.
Lovely.
Hopefully we'll start coming back to these. We don't have any real big projects going on. We may have some coming up in the next year or two. We just mainly, making repairs at this
Doing
point.
maintenance type stuff.
That's right.
Yep.
I do have some maybe questions a little bit later about, when contractors call in, about what we can do on our end to, let those contractors know, that our, specifically our high priority or regional water lines, we call them, transmission mains, how can we, is there a way for us to let them know that they are high priority when they make that 811 call? Just want to have a conversation about that at some point.
Okay.
I'm Bill Winkus. I'm the USIC supervisor, so I'm the punching bag today. I'll answer any questions you got about locates or anything. So just took over like a month ago, I guess, soup job. So
Welcome.
and here forever, just soup now up here.
Okay. We'll jump over to Jeremy then.
Jeremy McFalls, I'm with Dominion Energy. Been part of USS, UCC meetings in Durham, but this is my first one in Henderson's. Try to see what's different here. As far as projects go, Tony Collier's over most of our big projects, so he knows what's going on there than I do.
Will Kerr and Dominion Energy. Currently, we're working on inspection work, monthly inspections, doing some tires here and there. Leaks if they do occur, mostly maintenance stuff.
Got any damages last month in the area?
No, fortunately not.
Cool.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Just undergrads with Dominion. Like you said.
All right, without further ado, we'll save you to the end, Robert, after I get through my presentation and you can jump in. All right. So welcome to the UCC. Again, we didn't meet last month. Thanks everybody for attending this month. Hopefully, if we pick up a co-chair, that'd be awesome. Tony or Jeremy, you're already familiar with the UCC. You were the chair for Durham, which I'm going to be tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, you guys already know how it runs, so it's fairly easy. Being the secretary, which Bonnie does, and I appreciate it, Bonnie, with great ease, is probably the hardest job here. You saw what I did. But yeah, welcome to the UCC February. All right. So Mr. Louis Panzer wants you to know that they're conducting, they're surveying companies that were deemed to have caused a no-call damage to try to find out how they can mitigate that in the future going forward. Why are they doing it? And then how to get them to stop doing that type of stuff. They were provided to Louis by Duke and PMG, and I'm not sure if Dominion was in on that as well, the no-call damages. They sent out roughly 600 emails with a link to the survey to determine why no calls. And that paper is supposed to be published here in the near future. January's been good operationally for 811. We've got 4 new hires with 48 total, and 3 of the new hires or 3 of the CSRs are bilingual, so they can help the Spanish community. They can locate requests as well. Reminders, you must add operator ID if you are a locator or you have contract locator. Ensure that they are putting the operator ID at the beginning, the end, and every, you might know what the law states. It changed in 2019. What is it? That's close. USIC.
I don't know because we just put it so many times, depending on, the size of it.
Yeah, and the flag was supposed
The
to well,
flags,
right? So a
yeah.
flag, but I would tell folks, if you're painting the ground, go ahead and put it beginning to end and every 200 linear foot in between, right? That's what the law stipulates. Now, you can do it in conjunction with the flags, but if somebody comes and pulls your flags up, then you haven't met the intent of the law, right? But if you put it there every now and then in conjunction with the flags, you're good to go, you're covered. So please, as a reminder, do that. We're still getting calls from the DOT, especially in the Roanoke Rapids area, that they're going out, and communication's the biggest one. You pretty much know who has got the electricity and the gas in that area, but when you've got 3 communication lines on the same side of the road and you hit one, who you call, right? You don't know. And it's still becoming an issue, and the chair of that UCC is still letting folks know that they're failing to do that. So as a reminder, please do that. Let's see, if evidence exists of a facility, 3-hour is mandatory by state law. You must call in a 3-hour. Last but not least, stay warm. Spring is still a couple months away, but it's coming. It feels good out there right now, I think. So unseasonably warm right now is what they're calling for on the forecast. Again, the attendance is growing. Thanks for folks who used to attend, who are currently attending now. We'd like to get the Duke Energies and at the telecom industries in here, the Brightspeed, the Google Fiber, whoever else. And again, most of these UCCs in my area are hybrid, right? So if you can't physically drive here, you can jump online and say, this is where I'm having issues, or everything's good to go. I'd like to get everybody in the room. A great big hug. The opportunity is always there to join via the internet.
This is why we're NCDOT in the district office.
Yeah. Yeah. Have we got some banners out? So if you would like some banners, and we're asking that if If you, want some for this facility, no more than 2, right? And if you do, I've got some in my car. I have to populate a little form on the internet to download it, and then when you actually display these new banners, there's a QR code on the bottom left. You scan that and you populate your information on where you did. It doesn't last long, so we'll be able to keep up with it and then highlight that or promote that on our social media sites, the Twitters, the Facebook, the Instagram. I'm not sure what all they do, but yeah, Kerr doesn't do anything. But I have to take their word for it. Across the state of North Carolina, and we're gonna look at last month versus 2022. You can see that the ticket volume increased 20.16 and the year-to-date 20.16. Why is that the same? Because the year-to-date is only 1 month, right? So you're not gonna see but one set of numbers. There's not gonna be year-to-date when you're going forward. Again, transmission 16.1 last month. And again, I only have current month. I deleted all the year-to-date. Exactly the same. So in Vance, the 3-hour went from 5 to 29, a 480% increase. Let me get my little laser pointer here. Yeah, so the new tickets actually increased 6.8%, and the ticket update, unfortunately, went from 18 to 89, a 394% increase. Average locations per day, 23. Warren, 3-hour, 40%, new tickets, 71.2%, and ticket updates, 159. Is that what you guys are seeing at USIC as well in the area?
Yeah, lot of updates. Lot
Yeah,
of updates.
And it seems like it's a trend, except for Franklin County.
Is this the probably by telecom?
Well, I'd have to go and dig into the numbers. So I try to do that sometimes at the UCC.
It's spread out, because there's
Yeah.
so much construction going on.
And they're hitting the Charlotte, Raleigh areas, and then they're starting to spread out from there. Once they saturate that and then get their little trunk lines off of that, or their distribution lines.
Yeah.
So the average locations per day in Warren, 19. Franklin, the 3-hour increased 35%. The new increased 13. But the ticket updates actually went down almost 18%, which is awesome. That's great. Average locations per day in Franklin, 70. So a lot of work is taking place. And then Granville, 77% increase in the 3-hour, 14 in the new ticket. And unfortunately, the ticket updates, 75.6% with the average locate per day, 32. If anybody really wants to dig into these numbers, let me know. Most folks, I just hit the highlight of them because you start to glaze over if I talk about them too much. The Vance out of 461 tickets that were called in, Henderson had 362. Warren, 375, and you can see the total breakdown there. Macon, Manson, Norlina, and then Warrenton, 91. Franklin, 1560, and Franklin Ton had 406, Lewisburg, and then Youngsville. And last but not least, Granville, 631. You can see Creedmoor and Oxford made the list in triple digits. All right, talking about damages that reported to 811 last month. Again, if you are a utility owner or an excavator and you damage a utility while you're excavating, the law states that once you make that initial call to the owner of that utility, you're supposed to pick the phone up and call 811. Hey, I put in gas and I hit the water, or I put in water and I hit the electric, whatever it is. We don't capture Bob's backhoe, and Bob was running the backhoe, did the damage. We just capture, hey, I put in water and I damaged the gas. Bam, that's all we got. We roll that up at the end of the year, and then we see specifically where 811 needs to target our education. Obviously, we need to educate the folks who are doing the damages, who aren't even calling 811 tickets in, right? So we need to focus more attention on those folks to find out why they're not doing it and go out there and educate them about it. As a utility owner, if they did not call, you're supposed to call 811 to follow up. Hey, they just hit our gas line, is putting in water. Yeah, we got their call. Okay, cool. Nope, they never called us. Thank you for calling us. We can capture that information now.
They call a ticket in, but you expect them to call in, but they damaged the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ignore that part of the law, what they're supposed to do. So you're right. You're right, Jeremy. And if they don't do that, then we expect the utility owner to follow up. Hey, they didn't call 811 to begin with. They didn't call when they damaged it. Guess what? We got it because you guys called us. So we did capture their information.
We get 3-hour notices on no tickets. You go looking for the original ticket on it, it's like, there is none. It's just, there is a problem with the no ticket.
Yeah, no call.
No call.
Franklin had 3 damages last month. Granville had 7 that was reported. Vance and Warren had 9. So great job, guys. Some of the important dates, the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board is going to meet April the 18th. That's going to be Tuesday at 10. Again, they like the Greensboro 811 Event Center. They let them use it. So it's a great facility. It's kind of central, I guess, across the state of North Carolina. These folks are appointed by the governor. They're selected, they're vetted, and then they're appointed by the governor for different terms. The state UCC is going to be March the 21st at 10, Dominion Energy in Raleigh. And I was just there last week. And then the Locate Resolution Partnership Committee is going to meet March the 22nd at 11 a.m. Again, great facility. So it's going to be at the Greensboro 811 Event Center. And that will be hybrid. So if you can't physically be there, you can always join via the Teams link. 25th Annual Eastern North Carolina Landscaping Conference Show. We stuck it on there in case anybody would like to attend. I believe we're going to have some representation there. That's going to be February the 7th, Maxwell Center in Goldsboro, 3114 Wayne Memorial Drive. So again, if you would like a copy of this presentation PDF, once I get done, I'll upload it to the NCUCC website. You just go to the county. Obviously, you've got 4 to choose from on this one, right? And once you click on it, go down to 2023. 2023 and go to this month's and it should be uploaded. Barnhill Contracting is going to have a construction rodeo, and that's going to be February the 24th. And that is going to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So a little bit far for you guys to drive if you want to do these things. That's a joint conference coming up. If you are a chair or a co-chair or even secretary, we'd like you to attend these events. This is one that was last year, I think, in Greenville, South Carolina. Again, it's going to be held in Cherokee. Wednesday, Thursday, half a day Friday. They'll give you travel time to travel back to your home address so they don't monopolize your time on a Friday. If you've never been, you been, Jeremy?
No.
If you were the co-chair of this UCC, then see you have a ticket to go. But yeah, it's a great time. You meet a lot of great folks across the industry. Your other, I'm sure you probably met a lot of them, but your other Dominion Energy or even your Piedmont Natural Gas cohorts.
And you play golf, it's really nice golf.
Wednesday is golfing, yeah. So, and then they'll have the social hour Wednesday evening, right? It'd be heavy hors d'oeuvres with some adult beverages. And then Thursday really starts off the event. Hey, again, if you want to know what's going on within the NCAA world, everybody wants to be co-chair now, right? You can always go to the NCAA websites, the app, or the NCUCC calendar, find out where we're going to be out and about. We got a lot of stuff going on. We've already scheduled 2 events with the Durham Bulls coming up in the next couple of 3 months. And I think one of them, we're actually going to have the little mini excavator. Anybody ever seen that? It's a great educational tool. The kids can get on there. I mean, we've got kids that can't even reach the floor and grab the handle. We help them manipulate it, and for them to pick up the balls, it's an excavator that's actually mounted on a little 10-foot trailer, and there's a ball pit in there. One cannot articulate outside of the safety zone. So they pick the balls up and they put them in a bucket and the kids just light up. Even folks who are office workers who don't get that chance can actually do it as well. Big Logistics is coming, so Web TMS has a end of life cycle sometime in October, and Web TMS is going to take its place. So it is a submission and management system for excavators. You can create tickets and tracking. Ticket creation and tracking doesn't have to slow the progress of your work. If you are an excavator or a utility locator, you want to locate utilities with your swiftness so you can begin to dig. Is your current ticket submission and management submission slowing down your project? Contact Northfield for pricing. You can create and track tickets automatically, verify clients, receive instant notifications of positive responses. So this is some of the things that they can do. Again, they've got a demo on their website and they can talk to you about pricing. There is the NC1 education team led by Miss Ann Rushing. Again, thank you for your time and attention. A copy of this PDF. Does anybody remember what it, put my operator, I leave the beginning and the end, and how many foot between? 200 linear foot. Thank you. Yeah, good job. Again, a copy of this presentation will be uploaded to the website. So that is all I have. Uh-oh, the presentation stopped in the middle. Bonnie? You still there?
No, it's been working the whole time for me.
Okay, cool. I just clicked off of it. It said it wasn't sharing anymore. All right, cool. Well, does anybody have anything else? If you, now I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Robert Memmer. I know you want to talk about that.
I'm gonna start trying to make it to some of these meetings throughout the state. So, because I was very active when I was at NCDOT, but, real quickly, probably won't really impact any of y'all, but if you hear the term, you'll at least know what it is. I'm working on for the NCDOT, a project called Project Atlas. So, as I call it, it's a GIS system on steroids. And what it is about a plus 800 layer database, GIS database that has multitude of information. And it's all about accelerating project delivery for the NCDOT, but at the same time, it's all about how to save taxpayers' money, in this case, even the utilities, ratepayers. It's looking at how to develop a project faster and cheaper and getting the same product at the end in constructing these roadways. And to give you a quick example before I go into what, just take a post office, a U.S. post office. The DOT is expanding the roadway and they're going to expand the right of way, even if it's a utility easement in that post office area. You would think a governmental agency would work well with the governmental agency. That one right of way acquisition can take over 2 years. So those are things when they're designing a project they want to avoid, because that's a time delay, time restrictions. It's the same thing with utilities. As part of the database, the NCDOT is developing what I call depository records of utilities within the highway rights of ways. So when they go in and they can look at, if they're looking at a study corridor, they can go in and see what utility companies are in that study corridor. But then they can even tie it down a tad bit more to see what utilities are in certain locations in specific areas that they're looking at. Now, how does that work? Well, that utility data has got to be in their system. The utility plant records have got to be there. These records are not going to be disclosed to the public. These records are secured records that can only be used internally by the NCDOT. So what I've been tasked to do is going out, meeting with utility industry and coordinating to get not PDF plans, but actual digitized plans that can be transferred into a GIS database. Like I can call Dominion right now and say, hey, I need plans. I need your record plans for this project. for a future project, I can get PDF plans. Those plans are useless for me and for the GIS database. So with the larger companies, yeah, we've got a ways to go. We're working on, agreements right now. We have received now multiple records from, believe it or not, the telecom industry with all their digitized mappings that has come in. I'm meeting in 2 weeks, and as part of that meeting, we're gonna be talking about changing the encroachment terminology. That encroachment terminology is gonna be very specific to the state that if you're going to encroach in the NCDOT's rights of ways, these records will be made part of Project Atlas. Even up to requesting as-bills. That could be as-bills for telecom. I'm trying to probably convince DOT not to do as-bills for telecom. If it's gas, absolutely. Water, sewer, absolutely. It's gonna have to be as-bills. On some of your larger DOT projects, you're gonna see as-bills now being done, even for telecom installations that will be made part of Project Atlas. So if you hear anybody talk about NCDOT Project Atlas, that's what it is. It's a major GIS database, and part of that database is for utility records to accelerate project delivery, but also so that designer that never looks at what utilities are out there, when they're in the study phase, they can now look and go, we got 100 kV transmission line, or we've got a 8-inch steel gas main, or whatever. And they could start making those phone calls to, what type of impact is it going to have? Because if they can design to avoid, that saves time and money. And it's not about whether DOT is paying or the utility company is paying. It doesn't matter who pays, it's the taxpayers going to end up paying in the end. So the goal is to look at projects, design projects, but also look at avoidance to save time and money. So just want to throw that out to you, what Project Atlas is. I don't know if any of you get involved in doing encroachment agreements. I did hear at our last meeting in Raleigh, I'll know in a few weeks, but they are looking at a possible, DOT's looking at, I'm not trying to answer for DOT, but they are looking at potentially, from what I understood, possibly having a fee to file an encroachment agreement. I don't have that, not heard that directly, but I will hear that in a few weeks if they're looking at a fee structure. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to come by, introduce myself. Like I said, I'm a consultant firm now, but I'm going to start myself and my partners. We'll start coming to these meetings, spending some time, just getting out in the industry. One last thing, there's a potential, I know there is, can't say who the client is yet, but there is a client that's looking to do about 600 to 900 build outs of large convenience stores. That's where I know how to put it. That will have impacts on all utilities because they're going to have to be looking at lane widenings. They're going to be looking at these areas. There's going to be utilities that are going to be impacted. There are going to be utilities that got to be relocated. For all of these, the good news is we're going to do subsurface utility engineering. So we're going to do the SUE up front. That's going to help everybody. You still have to call for a locate. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't eliminate a locate call. But what it does, it gives a clear picture of who's out there, who's got to do what. It also helps the locators too. So I just want to make you aware of that. It will impact this area too, I'm pretty sure. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Rob. Anybody got anything else? All right, so we're gonna get together again March 5th. And Miss Bonnie is looking for somebody to pick up the check for the meal.
Hey, it's March 7th. But yes, I'm taking volunteers. Anybody want to volunteer? I think Mostek's got the money this time.
I'll pass the message along. See how much they give me for next time.
I appreciate it. Just if y'all can just email me if anybody decides to, and then that way I can pass it along. And it is March 7th, not the 5th.
Thank you. You know, I was actually in 2024 trying to look ahead. Yeah, it is March 7th. Thank you.
for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was looking something up this morning. I said, man, somebody's already requesting that far out, but thank you for that correction, March 7th. All right, that's all I got for everybody. I'm gonna stop recording and then you can,
Parrish, I think Lee had something to discuss, didn't he?
Yes.
I'm gonna send him an email